Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that takes a look at players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. First of all, got to say what a fantastic game yesterday. As an England supporter, really happy that England got that victory. Felt sorry a bit for Aaron Ramsey, but I thought I had a pretty good game in the game against England. But victory to England, and Jamie Vardy scoring the goal that got England back on track. And, you know, it was really funny yesterday. Twitter went absolutely mental with this blog that went out from BBC. Now, BBC tweeted out this, or no, sorry, not tweeted out, they put it on their website where they said that the goal had been scored by Arsenal player Jamie Vardy. And then Twitter went into meltdown. Everyone's saying, oh, do they know something we don't know? Why did they put that? You know, it's happening. He's definitely coming. It turned out that it was a fake, right? It was actually a fake. It wasn't true. They didn't put it out that he was an Arsenal player. Somebody had ingeniously photoshopped that in, but it was very funny and it did get everybody talking. But I was just wondering to myself, watching that game and even after the game, thinking to myself, what must be going on in Vardy's head? I mean, and what is a successful campaign gonna mean to Vardy? Because if he goes on from the Euros here and he scores a couple more goals and say he starts, which I think he should, because, you know, Harry Kane has not done well so far in the tournament, so I think maybe Vardy should start in the next game. Now, what will be running through Vardy's head? If he has a successful Euros, does he then say, right, time to go back to Leicester? Or does he then say to himself, well, you know what? Everybody's talking about me now. I'm really in the limelight. I love this. I want more of this. I've got to go to Arsenal, higher profile club. It's going to be really interesting to see what Jamie Vardy does. And it's really interesting to be in the mind of Jamie Vardy right now to see how he's feeling about things, because as I said, I've got the feeling, this is just my gut feeling and it's not based on anything. I've just got a feeling that if he has a successful Euros, that he's going to probably think to himself, you know what, let me go to Arsenal. I like this high profile stuff. Listen, it's no disrespect to Leicester. They won the league last year and they are now in the limelight, and they will be in the limelight next season, and they'll be playing in the Champions League. So he's got all that to look forward if he stays at Leicester. But surely, being that big sort of number one player for England, if he was to have a successful tournament, surely that will lure him more to Arsenal. But it's going to be really interesting to see. But good to see Vardy score yesterday and for England to get the winner. The other rumour that I found very funny, and this is, you know what, when you're searching around the internet and you're looking for all the transfer gossip and transfer rumours, it's hilarious sometimes when you see some of the rumours, because you can tell that, you know, people are like, oh, I haven't really got a proper rumour to put out there, but I'm just going to grab hold of something. And this one that I saw today was really funny. It said that Daniel Sturridge, Arsenal are the favourites to sign Daniel Sturridge, according to Sky Bet. Right now, Sky Bet, betting website, they make, out of all the clubs in the Premier League, they make Arsenal the favourites to sign Daniel Sturridge at 4-1, should he leave Liverpool. Now, should he leave Liverpool? There's nothing to say he's going to leave Liverpool. We know he's had his little run-ins with Jurgen Klopp, but there's nothing recently to say he's going to leave Liverpool. But because they've said if he does, probably the club more likely to sign him would be Arsenal, somebody's jumped on the story, churned it up and said that Arsenal would be the most likely club to sign him, completely based off of the fact that his name is in the limelight right now, so let's do a Sturridge to Arsenal story. I can't see that happening. Again, if he has a successful tournament, why would Liverpool want to sell? So, but it was a great rumour. It was a great rumour. One rumour that's still flowing around, and is that Arsenal are still interested in trying to sign Mehdi Benatia. Now, many Arsenal fans will tell you that Arsenal, one position that we need to get is a centre-back. We spoke a lot about strikers yesterday, but a centre-back, I think, is also very important. And we've been linked to several, but one name that keeps coming up is Mehdi Benatia. Benatia, 29 years of age, plays for Bayern Munich. We're being told probably about £12 million would be enough to get this deal across the line. And listen, he's a top player. His career has been really hampered by lots and lots of injuries that he's picked up since he's been at Bayern Munich. I think if he hadn't got those injuries, he could be a starter there. But as I've said previously, now that they've signed Mats Hummels, who, by the way, looked pretty impressive last night for Germany, Hummels is now at Bayern Munich. Benatia, who's had lots of injuries, he's going to be more or less surplus to requirements. He's not going to get a lot of game time. And it would make great sense for Arsenal to sign a player of his quality and bring him in. And we're being told that Arsenal's still interested in signing him. So let's see what happens with that Mehdi Benatia. For me, even though he's got that injury record, even though he'd have to play in the Africa Cup of Nations, remember, because that will be coming up in January, I still think he'd be a great signing for Arsenal, Mehdi Benatia. So let's see what happens with that. Isaac Hayden, who is back at Arsenal now after being on loan to Hull City, is interested in Queen's Park Rangers, we're being told. Queen's Park Rangers really is interested in signing the Arsenal defensive midfielder. He's also interested in Hull. Hull are interested in taking him back to go and play there. A couple of games I saw him play for Arsenal, I was very impressed with Isaac Hayden. I really thought he's a player that had a future at Arsenal. It may not be at Arsenal, it may be away from Arsenal, but Hull City and Queen's Park Rangers interested in him. And interesting on the N'Golo Kante thing, as we're talking about defensive midfielders, the N'Golo Kante thing. Now, we're being told today that Leicester are trying to sign Napoli's Mendy. He's a defensive midfielder from Nice, valued at about £12 million. And we're being told that that is a deal that is fairly close that they could sign this guy. Now, the question is, if they're trying to sign him as a defensive midfielder, what does that say about the position of N'Golo Kante? Does that mean that N'Golo Kante will be leaving? He's been heavily linked to Chelsea. He's been linked to us at Arsenal. He's been linked to Paris Saint-Germain. He's having an excellent Euros at the moment. So if Leicester are trying to sign this guy, what happens to Kante? And should Arsenal go and get Kante? Now, we've signed Granit Xhaka, who's looking really good in the Euros. Sort of a defensive midfielder. Deep line player. We've got, of course, Francis Coquelin. We've also got Mohamed El Nene, who can play in that deep position as well. Do we need Kante? Should we be pursuing N'Golo Kante, or do we have enough in that area? Me personally, this is just my personal opinion on it. He is so good that I would sign him. He would just be absolutely perfect in that Arsenal midfield. But then where does that leave Coquelin? Where does that leave El Nene? Granit Xhaka? You know, I mean, who's going to play week in, week out? I don't know. But can you pass up a player of that quality? Just absolutely. He's been excellent in the Euros so far for France. He was excellent last season for Leicester. You can see that he is, for me, a world-class now defensive midfielder. There's not much better than him in the world. So should Arsenal try and sign him? That's what I'd really like you guys to tell me. Let me know if you think that that's a deal that Arsenal should be going out there to do. Despite the fact that we've already signed Granit Xhaka, recently signed Mohamed El Nene, should we try and sign N'Golo Kante? Let's get into your comments. This is Soccer War Madness, right? He says, I remember yesterday we spoke a lot about strikers. He says, Morata is not good enough. Giroud is just as good as him. We need someone who can score goals for fun like Higuain and Aubameyang, and even the Dutch league strikers like Milik or Janssen. That's more of a risk, but they'll come cheaper and than a lot of strikers, and the risk they may pay off. Talking of Milik, right? Now, this is the thing, right? You know, you see a guy in the first game, scored that goal for Poland, but yesterday he missed 2 absolute sitters. Now, if that had been Olivier Giroud, just saying, right? Miguel says, he says, Aubameyang and Lewandowski, price very high, risk very low. All right, this is based on what I was talking about yesterday. Higuain, price very high, risk low. Morata, price very high, risk very high. Lacazette and Vardy, price high, risk medium. Slimani and Batshuayi, price high, risk high. Vincent Janssen, price medium, risk medium. So he says, to me, Vincent Janssen seems like the answer to him. I like the way he's broken that down. Listen, the other thing is about it, it's not just about price. I mean, yesterday, going through the comments, over 1,000 comments again yesterday, and when I was going through a load of them, a lot of people seem to be like, oh, listen, why are Arsenal so tight? Go and get Lewandowski. If it's 100 million, we've got it. We pay the highest ticket price. Suppose Lewandowski doesn't want to join Arsenal. It's not just about money when you're talking about players like Lewandowski, Aubameyang. It's whether they want to come. I mean, the Chinese league could offer these guys even more money. I mean, the Chinese league could buy Lewandowski for 100 million and probably say to him, you know what, we're going to pay you $500,000 a week. But it's whether Lewandowski wants to go. It's whether Aubameyang wants to come to Arsenal. It's whether Higuain wants to come to Arsenal. It's also whether the clubs want to sell. If a club's got Aubameyang on, where he just recently signed a new deal and they've got him tied down to 2020, they don't have to sell. They may be tempted to take the money. They may just say, you know what? This guy's so important to our club that we're not selling. Same thing that Arsenal do. When Man City have showed an interest in Jack Wilshere, it's like, no, I don't. Yeah, we know you might pay us £50 million for him. We know he's a bit injury prone, but we're not interested in selling. That's it. It's over if you've got a player on a long-term contract. So it's not just about money. It's not as simple as that, which is kind of what I was trying to put across yesterday when I did the show. Final one here. Kashif Nadeem says, what do you think about Gabriel Barbosa, aka Gabigol of Santos? Looks a good player, but still very, very, very raw. So, they're calling him the new Neymar. We still got to see more of him. Again, if you buy a player like that, it's a big risk. It's a player that you're going to have to nurture along. He's never played in this country before. Not sure how work permit problems will be as well, because he's only just broken into the Brazilian team. So I don't know. I think Arsenal need a proven striker that's going to get us like 25 goals. I think the Vardy thing for me would be perfect. I know he's not a glamorous signing, but for me would be perfect. But let's see what happens. Thanks for watching. We'll be back round about the same time tomorrow. Don't forget to check out my brand new channel, Man Like Robbie, where we chat all things football. We're doing a lot of stuff on the Euros at the moment. Had some great stuff from the England game yesterday, so make sure you check those out. And also, we're going to be going to the England game on Monday, England versus Slovakia. I'll be out there in France for that, so make sure you follow that and check out our Snapchat as well. Real good. Thanks for watching. Be back tomorrow.